Okay, so I just want to make a quick video about the way that I think over the years, especially online, some of the things that I've done. And so if you're thinking about trying to understand the way that I think and the way that I do things in my life, the way that I live my life, and especially online over the years, this video is for you. And for me, mostly making this video for myself, and I was just thinking about this, and so I just want to say something about that, what's on my mind today about that. I just want to say something really quickly about the way that I think and the way that I've done some things online really quickly, and then after that I might say a few other things like I normally do. Sometimes I like to ramble and say a bunch of random stuff, but I'll try not to carry myself away. I'll try not to get carried away and say really quickly that one of the things that I would do early on the internet was I would interact with people as if they were on a stage or as if we were in public. Like, think of like a public town square, think of a some kind of musical, some kind of stage where there's a play and you're in the audience and the other person that you're interacting with is on the stage, or in some kind of movie, in some kind of play, something that's really public, something like that. That was the general understanding that I would have, mostly subconsciously because I didn't really think about it. But looking back retrospectively, I think that that was one of the things that was going on in my mind. I don't know if this is true for some people or for how many people, this kind of thing. And I'm talking about anything online, whether it be Facebook, MySpace, Zynga, Bebo, different websites that I was using in the early 2000s, that first decade, when I started doing it a lot more, using the internet a lot more than before. I used the internet a little bit before that in the 90s. I talk about this, I find it interesting, the chronology and everything about my life and history and everything, and I find it really fascinating looking at my life, looking at how I think, and correlating that, comparing that, contrasting that with other people and everything, and I think it's kind of cool. And I just wanted to talk about that, and I was thinking about that a little bit because I was thinking about something. I mean, in general, I think about this kind of stuff off and on throughout my life, but particularly today on this Saturday. I'm watching Friday Night Tights from yesterday, and I enjoy it, and the people come on, and they're introducing themselves, and then the Asian girl comes on. Not that Star Wars girl. No, sorry. I don't want to sound like I'm confusing everybody. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound funny, but I am, but I'm not. But trying to. Oh, okay, I got it now. I'm trying to remember the X-ray girl. So C comes on, and she's like, okay, I don't know. I just got on. I don't know what's happening. I don't even have my makeup on. And some of the people are like, oh, you don't need it. And then I was thinking to myself, how many times would I say something to people, and especially girls, going over the years online, saying things like trying to compliment them and something like that. And then I was thinking to myself that I would say, generic things that people say to each other. Men and women say things that are harmless, but can be taken any direction. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, what kind of things have I said? And I've said different things at different times to different people, and looking back at it, I could say that perhaps I was wrong to say things in the way that I said them, or perhaps the exact, specific things that I would say were not the best. And I think part of the thinking that I had was that I was in a public setting. But from their perspective, at times, it may be that they're looking at it as if it was private. And how you interact with people in private may be different than how you would interact with people in a public setting. And that's the reason why I was talking about all that, being in a play, watching a play, being in the audience. How do you interact? How do people interact with each other? How does the audience interact with the actors on stage? I would have that kind of perspective. I would have that kind of frame of thinking. Like I would do that basically. Whether I knew it or not, I would do that. Whether it's right or wrong, that's where I was coming from. I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to talk about that, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if I've thought about that before. I wanted to put that into video form. I could probably write it down too, but I wanted to put that out there. I would say to anybody who might be looking at this video for a second that you would have to bear with me. I'm still learning how to do this kind of stuff, even though I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that, but I'm saying it because it's true. Then I'm still working on everything, or a lot of things, including making videos and everything else. I have to say that, I have to be clear, and I want to say it quickly, and I want to just kind of get it out of the way, but at the same time, it's important to say and not important to say. I'm a little bit paradoxical in my perspective on everything, or a lot of things. And my name is Oatmeal, Joey Arnold. I take pride in my name, and I think you should. Some people might say, no, not so much. I think you can overdo it, and so you seek after balance in everything that you do. I was also thinking about the outline to my life online earlier, and I was writing it down because I was going over some passwords that I ran across, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's interesting. Password doesn't matter anymore because it's really old. I don't use that password anymore. But that's not important right now. What's important right now is for me to say that I'm still working on things, and that's good, and a lot of people are working on things, and that's good, and I'm still learning, and I'm still improving, and there's a part of me that wants to talk about that, and there's a part of me that doesn't want to talk about it. And I think there comes a time when you should or shouldn't, depending on whether or not it can help other people, but it really does have to be done correctly. And I'm not really saying anything that you wouldn't already know, but then again, maybe some people don't know. I don't want to get too carried away in this video, and this is probably the only video I'm going to make today in the alleged Arnold attic. I was thinking about starting some kind of wiki page. Somebody was talking to me about that, and I think that's a good idea. Or there's a variety of things that can be done. Different websites and stuff. I think it's a good idea. And so I'm going to consider different websites. I've joined different websites and blogs over the years, and I always try to join as many as I can. And so that would include wiki pages with, it would, not yet, but it would include wiki pages or something like that. Those kinds of things, like Wikipedia and other stuff that's similar to that, including fandom.com. I think that's what it's called, fandom.com. And I don't know exactly what I should do. I was thinking of starting something that's called joey.fandom.com or attic.fandom.com or something. I don't know if I can or what the rules are, because it seems like the things that I've seen on that website, Fandom, is I saw a few references to movies and shows and established things that you would see on TV or the internet, but not anything that would be undeveloped or something that's I don't know, grassroots or something like whatever that I might have with the Arnold attic or whatever you want to call the lore that I might have. I was thinking about that, and I'm still thinking about that. That's still ongoing, so I'm still gonna think about that and work on that, and working on scans today, scanning things, and I'm gonna continue working on that. And I haven't got to my home videos to upload the home videos, the Arnold attic home videos onto the internet, which I've already done in part before, but I'm going to continue to do that and talk about that, and it's an ongoing project and it's important. I think about the reaction videos I made to Dead Wing Dork, and I uploaded around 14 hours or so of reaction videos to him, and I may summarize it, and I have summarized it in some of those videos. The total time is up to like 14 hours, and that's a lot. And is it important? I don't know. I like what I do, or some of what I do, so I'm thinking about all this stuff in my mind, doing all those things in regards to scanning photos and drawings and writings and old emails that I was sending to my brother and my family and my mom back 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago, and different things, different writings and stuff, scanning them, documenting my life, online and offline, thinking about that kind of stuff. Just for the record kind of thing. A lot of the stuff that I do, or some of the stuff that I do, is for the record. I like to say for the record. I say that in videos. I write that down in some of the articles. And I like it. I like to say that. And I like the value behind it. And I stand by that. And so I spend time thinking about it. And at the same time, I'm not saying that it's gold. I have to say that clearly, and I'll say it again. If I said that before, I'll say it 1,000 times and 1,000,000 times, that I'm not saying that all my stuff is really good. I just want to be clear that when I upload stuff, when I write about stuff, I'm not here trying to point fingers at myself and say, look at my stuff. Even when I poop, it's gold. Everything that I do is gold. But that's not the purpose of documenting. It's for the record. For the record means that I just want to look at it and have it saved, archived, backed up. And that's like a fundamental principle that I have. Whether something's good or bad or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, my thinking is you collect the data like a scientist, and you hold on to it, and then after you have it and you have backups of it, then you can work on it or work with it and branch out from it. It's a very scientific kind of philosophy. Not to say that I'm a scientist. Part of me is a scientist, and part of me is an artist and a goofball and everything else. And so I'm pretty fragmented in the way that I live my life and the way that I think and everything else. And the way that I talk to people has been fragmented because of how I can be one person or I could be another person, and sometimes I go back and forth, and sometimes I don't know, and sometimes I've changed my mind about a couple different things, but fundamentally not so much. And there is a heart and a foundation that my heart and my soul and my life has been on for a very long time. And as I get older, I work on it, and things get better. I uploaded a few videos yesterday it was around 40 videos, and a lot of them are silly and the kind of thing that you don't do. You would say, I understand the argument that you wouldn't do, or you would put them all onto one video and it'd be like an hour, 2 hours long kind of thing, and then you upload the one big video as opposed to a bunch of little videos. That's understandable. Or you don't upload them, or you upload them to another channel on YouTube or somewhere else, and I try to back up my stuff and have them on as many websites as I can, and I believe in that, like I said, backups and stuff and archives for the record. And so I'm thinking about this, thinking about what I did yesterday, and I've said that maybe I should stop doing it, but I still do it. And it's the concept of one of the channels I used to have that got burned down due to censorship. It was called Ojawal, and Ojawal, I like that, Ojawal, O-J-A, Oatmeal Joey Arnold, O-J-A, wall, my wall, throw it on the wall, just throw it on the wall, throw it on the Ojawal, Ojawal. That was one of my YouTube channels. The concept of Ojawal was upload all the videos there. And I was kind of doing that with the other one that I still have, the first one, as far as I know. First channel I ever had on YouTube since 2006, L4OJ. That's the number 4. L4OJ. And I'm not here to really talk about that. I'm rambling, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're listening. I was going to ramble, and I was only going to, like, say one particular thing for this video. And I've already said it, and I'll just summarize it really quickly, and then maybe say a few things after that, and then end the video, hopefully. And that's it. Okay. So this quick summary is, I was online over the years, and I'm thinking, this is public, like a stage, like a play, and I'm the audience, and they're in the public, and they're like an actor, and I'm just going to say things, and maybe some of the things I say I shouldn't say, and we can debate what you say and how you say it all day long. And so I'm not here to really necessarily defend myself or justify some of the things or all of the things, or it's a long story, so we can't summarize all of that. And I've said so many different things, I can't even summarize that. I've said all kinds of things over the years, and especially online, and that's what I wanted to get at. And the kind of person I am, I've been a jokester, and I've been a character, and my mindset, a lot of times, outside of just that, would be that people know me, people will understand me, so I can joke around a little bit, and people will not take me out of context. And especially, like, if you're only talking to people that you know, and then you talk to them online, and that's what I would do. And I was in college, and then I was interacting with them online, and like on MySpace and Facebook and Zynga and everything else. And you know, this is like, you know, after high school, I go in a plane for the first time, and I go from Oregon, and then I go to New York, and then you know, I'm interacting with all these people, like 400 people, a lot of people, or you know, just a lot of people, and I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm knowing a lot of people, just like in high school I knew a lot of people. And then you know, I'm there, and I'm interacting with people in real life, offline, and then I see them online on those websites, the social media, the big tech websites, and I'm interacting with them, and so, right or wrong, this is where I'm coming from. And this is a big part of my online persona, or lack thereof, or lack therein. It's like, that's part of the philosophy. It's like, oh, I'm in a play, so to speak. Except I didn't really think about that at that time. I don't think, but now I understand. That's where I was coming from. Looking back, that's where I was coming from, I think. And this is kind of a little bit of a revelation, not totally, but a little bit to an extent. Right now I'm thinking that's why I'm making this video, to share with you and to myself that revelation a little bit. Not to say that it's very important, but it's a little bit important. I think there is nuance and stuff about what I'm trying to say, and I'm just gonna say that was part of, like, of my thinking and how I would do things, like whatever I was doing, posting and commenting and uploading videos and writing, articles and posts and the emails and the messages and everything that I was doing online over the years, over the last 20 or 30 years, and especially the last 22 years or so. This is the kind of life that I lived off and on, not 100%, like not all the time, but this is who I am kind of thing. Not to say that I'm right, but I would like to think I'm right at times, and my expression and my thinking is that people would understand me, or that anybody, like, say, anybody who doesn't deserve me to be their friend or lover or anything. And not to say lover, like, I haven't really actually been serious about trying to pursue love. Thought about it at times. I'm not here to talk about that. That's kind of an off and on thing. But like Picard in Star Trek. Oh, let's not talk about that again. But like him, I'm kind of like him. And I have to say that I think about that kind of stuff sometimes. And I just wanted to say a couple things specifically, even though I feel like I'm going to be taken out of context, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I've already been taken out of context and stuff, but it's like, does it even matter? But it's like, I've said a bunch of different things to people. And some of those things might be like, you see something and you say, oh, you're pretty. Or, you're beautiful, you're interesting, you're cool. Or you come up with something really creative, which is something I started doing when I would make these cards or letters and articles, these encouragement articles, the EAs. I would write them and I would send it to people in high school and then in college and then beyond. And I made like hundreds or a lot of these, like I don't know how many dozens or hundreds of these, things. There was different persons and different kinds of these things that I would do for people. I did it offline and online over the years, going back 20 years or more, and I would do it in different ways at different times, but it was meant to encourage people. I even did it on Facebook. I did it on different websites. I would write it out, hand it to people, or send it to them online, and sometimes I published them. Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes they were small, like a small card. Some of them were articles and on regular paper. And so they came in different sizes and different shapes and sizes. Like some of them had pictures or drawings, and I would come up with random words and names to call them. Most of the ones that I did were about girls and women. And because I was attracted to them, and I also wanted to encourage them. But my mindset was not really like, I'm trying to hit on them. But looking back, I can see how some of them may have got me wrong, or anybody could have got me wrong. But I made these for a lot of people, and even the president of the first college that I went to, the Word of Life Bible Institute, I gave him one, Rick Garland, and then he commented on it during graduation. I believe it was that first year, the end of 2005, when we were graduating in August, and he was talking about that, and he's like holding up his card that I made him. I made him an EA, and he's like, if you haven't got one, then you're nobody. I mean, not real. That's not exactly what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like kind of making a joke about it, but also kind of like encouraging me, because that was the time that I got this like the most improved award during that first year of college, because I improved a lot. I got that award, and so he talked about one of the things that I would do was writing these articles for people to encourage people, and it was encouraging, my fellow classmates, the other students, male and female, mostly female, like I said. And I'm looking back and I'm thinking, that some of this could be taken the wrong way. I understand that. And so you gotta perhaps be above approach. I'm not absolutely saying that, but I'm saying that's a general principle. It's a good idea. In most situations, you should probably consider those kinds of things in life, that things can be taken the wrong way, and there's a lot of truth in that. And my perspective on that kind of thing would be a bit clouded, or I didn't think about it at times, or just a bunch of different things happen over the years, and the way that I interacted with people in general fluctuated for a variety of reasons. And with all the things happening in my life and just running around worried about things, or just trying to get things done, and I was just overworking myself, and then that led to failures in my life. Even though I did a lot of good things in life and got a lot of work done, and helped a lot of people, did a lot of things, I failed. It's important to notice that, and to note that for the record. And I can see now that people could look at some of it and be like, man, you're creepy when you did this, or when you did that, when you said this, when you said that. And it doesn't matter if I had good intention. This would probably be something I would put into my articles on being sorry, my sorry series, apologizing and stuff, not to be Joe Rogan, and not to say that he apologized, or maybe he did, maybe he didn't. There's a debate there, and a debate in my own life kind of thing, and that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit here. I wanted to mention briefly my perspective and my intentions in my life online, relating to the way that I would interact with people, and how I would say things, and what I would say. And I'm not here to talk about all the different things that I've said and how I've done things in different ways. My heart was there. I had good intention. But one of the things that I learned in life is you have to try to be as clear as possible. And this is a general principle that I've understood, to an extent at least, for years. But as I get older, I start to understand it a little bit more and more. And that's one of the things that you get as you get older. You can know something but not know it, even though you know it, but you don't really know it, and it's kind of hard to explain, and it's kind of embarrassing and stuff. And I wanted to comment on the fact that I was shy, and then I started becoming more confident in high school, and then perhaps overconfident and stuff, and that might have been a problem too in regards to all this. And I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking about that too. And that's not absolute. It fluctuates my confidence and stuff, but not to say that I didn't have confidence before, but I did, and I didn't, and then it improved, and there's a lot of variations and stuff and nuance there, and I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I think that's part of an important thing to mention in regards to some of that, and in context to understanding the way that I think and the way that I do things, or the way that I've done things. And so I think about that, and I think about how I may be coming across, and sometimes I care and sometimes I don't, and it really depends. You really got to pick your battles, and sometimes I've been too aggressive towards people. Not to say that you shouldn't, because sometimes you should, and that's very important to be aggressive at times if you're choosing a battle. But there's a lot of things that you got to talk about and think about when you're doing those kinds of things, and you got to think about long-term effects that you're entering in when you're engaging in that kind of thing, whatever those